Wow, I didn't even have to say anything. How's everyone doing? Excellent, excellent. Good evening, good evening. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. In the very unlikely event of an emergency, 4 oxygen masks will fall from the... That's the wrong safety script. Give me a moment here. There we go. Welcome, everyone. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items here. Please make sure you silence all of your electronic devices. The only tones that we'd like to hear tonight are from the band. Keep in mind the nearest emergency exit for you. We have 2 in the back of the house here, aside from the drama stage, and we have 2 right up here in front, aside of the music stage, with an accessibility access over here as well. And also, please remember that 51 Walden is a non-smoking building. We only want to hear smoking sounds from the band as we're playing. Welcome. Tonight's concert is entitled Macabre Music for the Season, a spine-tingling celebration of the eerie, the mysterious, and the otherworldly. Tonight's program invites you to enjoy the soundscape of spectral visions, haunted dances, and shadowy incantations. And as these days grow shorter and the nights grow longer, we embrace the strange beauty of the macabre through the lens of wind ensemble music. From ghostly fugues and wicked waltzes, the supernatural spirits and playful marionettes, each composition on tonight's program reveals a different face of the unknown. And whether it's thrilling, whether it's unsettling, or delightfully spooky, these works are sure to enchant your imagination and awaken your darker musical sensibilities. The start of our program, our first piece is entitled, aptly so, Halloween by Morton Gould. Halloween is a dramatic and playful piece that captures the spooky excitement of the Halloween season. Morton Gould expertly weaves mischievous motifs, eerie harmonies, and unexpected shifts in tempo and tone to conjure the atmosphere of the mischievous October night. The music suggests tiptoeing trick-or-treaters, ghouls looming in the shadows, flickering jack-o'-lanterns, and a neighborhood full of spooky surprises. The piece builds with tension, layering instruments, modal inflections, and as the music dances between lightheartedness and the mystery, listeners are drawn into the landscape of sonic trickery and the playful dread. Morton Gould is a prolific wind ensemble composer. He loves to use very well-known idioms. I'm sure you've heard a number of his pieces before. This particular piece that we're playing here is actually part of a collection of holiday music that was written for, or by him, I should say. So we're choosing the Halloween one, obviously, for the aptly part there, but there's 4 other pieces in this suite of music as well, which is a ton of fun. Now with that, the band is going to get ready here. We're going to do a quick, and I hope not too spooky tune for this, something that's very ritualistic for us, and then we're going to get going. So, Ken. Definitely close enough for spooky music. What do you think? I think we got it. Folks, sit back, relax, but not too much, and prepare yourself for a chilling yet thrilling musical journey. It is my pleasure to welcome the musical director and conductor of the Concord Band, Jim Odell, to the stage. Are we in the spirit? We're there. Excellent, excellent. Our next piece, Toccata and Fugue in D minor by Johann Sebastian Bach, possibly the most famous organ work ever written, and certainly falls into the category of you know it when you hear it. This dramatic piece opens with the bold, instantly recognizable toccata, a flourish of haunting arpeggios and powerful chords. The fugue that follows is a masterwork of Baroque counterpoint, building intensity through interweaving melodic lines and relentless drive. In this wind ensemble arrangement, the piece loses none of its grandeur. Brass and woodwind sections imitate the power of the organ, while percussion adds color and drama. It becomes not just a transcription, but a reimagining of a one-person piece to a collective ensemble. And though this piece, a fun fact for you, though the piece is widely associated with horror films and Gothic settings, Bach most likely wrote the piece as one of his early virtuosic showpieces during the early part of his career. And another fun fact for you is the manuscript for this actual work was lost for over 100 years and only resurfaced in the 1800s. Its rediscovery helped reignite the 19th century revival of Bach's music. And probably the most famous thing that cements this piece into the lexicon of music and what we all know is that it was famously used in Disney's Fantasia in 1940, helping cement its pop culture and Halloween concert repertoire worldwide. So please sit back and enjoy Toccata and Fugue in D minor. So was I right? Did you know it when you heard it? Yeah, right? Whew. I don't know how Bach must have felt for one person, but that's a workout for a whole band there. Well, we have something completely different for you, but I think wonderfully enjoyable. A great treat coming up for you. The band has a long and rich history of commissioning works to be brought to the foray and into the musical lexicon here, and tonight is no exception for this. We have a wonderful piece for you entitled Poetic Justice, which is based on some works of Edgar Allan Poe, as you might have guessed. This work was commissioned by a member of the band along with her family, Jean Patterson, who's over there in the French horn section as well. So we are very excited for that. Yes, congrats, Jean, congrats, family, on this as well. And rather than hearing from me to explain what this is all about, I actually thought we would welcome up one of the family members, Alexis Mator, to come on up and set the stage for you about what this piece is all about and really get you in the spirit for it. So Alexis, come on up.
A few years ago, I had heard a piece about a clock, and in my imagination drew up a song about a heartbeat. A great lover of Edgar Allan Poe, I quickly picked a few of his works that I'd love to make into a song. While I fantasized about how a piece this would look, I was no composer. So it sat in the back of my mind. A little over a year ago, my mother and I were on one of our usual walks. She mentioned she wished to commission a piece. Naturally, I had to tell her about the piece I myself had been obsessing over. I was not prepared for her to say, I like the idea, let's do it. I was less prepared for her immediately picking out a composer by the name of Roger Cichy. Oddly enough, he said yes. He seemed naturally to breathe life into the scattered ideas I had and make it into a real piece. My father came up with the perfect name for it, Poetic Justice. Now, let me try something. I want everyone to close their eyes. Let them take the clock back to an evening much like this one on a chilly October night. The year, though, is 1843. A fire crackles in the hearth as everyone gathers around the fire for the evening's entertainment. Great writers entertain the masses by publishing in the newspapers. Earlier today, someone read an article from the same paper about the surreal conditions of the Sale Asylum Bedlam, which you can pay to see the crazies. Another story tells about the expected tuberculosis and cholera deaths for the number of the year. Now, in hushed tones, someone reads a haunting tale by the name of Edgar Allan Poe. It makes one pause and wonder, what is scarier, the beasts in the shadows or the monsters that lurk among us?
Thank you, Alexis. Do we have the mood? Are we feeling it? Excellent. It is my great pleasure to introduce the composer and the conductor of this piece. He is no stranger to the band. He's got a fantastic biography in the program. I encourage you all to take a look at it. Please welcome to the stage Roger Cichy, who will take you through how this piece came to life with how Alexis just sent the tone. Roger.
Well, Edgar Allan Poe, what can you say? 3 stories. The first one is the Telltale Heart, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what to listen to. You may or may not know these stories, but I just want you to kind of listen for some of the things, because this is what we call programmatic music. In other words, it follows exactly the story, and everything they're playing is some part of that story as it progresses through. So I want you to listen particularly close to the beginning, because the main character, who's a servant, is going through and trying to see if the master is awake at night at 12 o'clock. So he sneaks upstairs every night and slowly opens his door and sticks his lantern in, and then opens the door and a lantern to shine some light to see if that evil eye is looking at him. So you're going to hear that in the music. I want you to pay particular attention to that. Unfortunately, our character, the master, is killed. Strangled, and you'll hear that in the music as I said, music has to follow the story. And of course, the servant thinks everything's fine. And he doesn't think he's mad. But then there's a knock on the door, and it's the police that heard someone across the street say, I heard something over there. You might want to investigate. So the servant thought, well, everything's going to be fine. And, I won't give it away what instrument's going to be the heartbeat in this piece. The second movement, the cask, is another murder. Edgar Allan Poe, what did you expect? In this case, two people thought they were friends, but one had a little in on the other as somewhere along the way, one family wronged another family. And so the perpetrator was going to murder this person by convincing him there's this wonderful cask of wine, you need to taste this. Unfortunately, it's down in my parents' crypt cellar, and we've got to go way down there to find it. So you'll listen carefully for the descending lines as they go down further and further. And as they're going down, they are drinking wine. And you can imagine after 2 or 3 bottles what would happen. So I want you to listen because we have someone going to emulate that in the band. Now they get down there, and of course there's not really a cask of wine down there, but there's a wall with some chains that we can chain this person to and start bricking in the area. And you'll hear that as each layer, each course of bricks are put in. So listen carefully for that. I think you'll identify that. So you'll have the descending part going down to the cellar. You'll have the ascending wall being built. And of course, you'll hear what happens at the end. The last one, guess what? Everyone dies. Yes. So Poe took a lot in this story, a lot of time to talk about this room situation that he had in this castle, an abbey that was oddly shaped, and you went from room to room. There was a terrible disease called the Red Death that people were dying from, and this Prince Prospero thought he could just shield a bunch of the wealthy people, and they could just party for the end of time. And, as you go through each room is decorated in a specific color. So you're going to hear the colors transpire through the band. There's a red room, I'll start with the beginning. There's a blue room, and you hear the clarinets represent the blue room. A purple room, saxophones. Green room is going to be the horns and euphoniums. We have an orange room, bright with trumpets and trombones. The white room with the upper woodwinds, the flutes and the oboe and the bells. We have a violet room with trumpets and horns muted. And we finally get to the black room with the low instruments, okay? Now you're going to hear that reoccur 3 times, because first time we're kind of introducing these rooms. The next time, we're kind of running through these rooms because, the Red Death does appear, okay? And after the prince is killed, then everyone has to run to the black room. Now, one thing I want you to listen for is this. There's a very ugly chiming clock in the black room. And we won't tell you what instrument's supposed to be that, okay? But it's so ugly that the party stops briefly until the chimes are over, and then we resume again. And as I said, everyone dies. Let me introduce our narrator for this. We're very pleased to have this gentleman really add a lot to this piece. His name is Craig Howard. And as soon as we get settled, the world premiere of Poetic Justice.
True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous. I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses. not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Who's there? Admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here, here. It is the beating of his hideous heart. It must be understood that neither by word nor deed had I given Fortunato cause to doubt my goodwill. I continued, as was my wont, to smile in his face, and he did not perceive that my smile now was at the thought of his immolation. Montresor! The Red Death had long devastated the country. No pestilence had been ever so fatal or so hideous. But the Prince Prospero was happy and dauntless and sagacious. When his dominions were half depopulated, he summoned to his presence 1,000 hale and light-hearted friends from among the knights and dames of his court, and with these retired to the deep seclusion of one of his castellated abbeys. And darkness and decay and the Red Death held illimitable dominion over all.
The world premiere of Poetic Justice by Roger Cichy. Commissioned by the Patterson Mator family. Fun piece, right? Congrats. Folks, this concludes the first half of the program. I want to thank you very much for sticking with us on all the spooky music. We're going to take a short break right now, but please remember as you head out, when you first came in, there was a little donation box right there. We love donations. No donation is too big, so any help you can provide, we love that. Thank you very much. And folks out on the live stream, we hear you, we see you. We know we're having a couple of little audio difficulties. We're going to work on that during the break, get you right back. Folks, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Back. How are we doing? Still spooked? Still frenzied? Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for rejoining us here for the second act of our spooky, whimsical evening. Real quick note for that, as I said, as we welcome everyone back here, we also have a mighty crowd out on our live stream as well. Thank you all very much for joining us virtually. And we have a crackerjack, fantastic audiovisual crew here. You're going to hear a little bit more about them later on. But they are absolutely aware of a little bit of the hiccup that happened with that audio. All repaired now, we believe. And as we hope everyone will, when you come and watch this concert again and again and again on YouTube, everything will be pristine and perfect, spliced together like you never knew anything may or may not have been where it was or shouldn't have been for that. All right, as we start our second act, our first piece is aptly, what can I say? It's, it's in the name, as they say, Incantation and Dance. It's a piece that has an incantation, and then it has a dance that comes along with it. Incantation and Dance, but so much more. Incantation and Dance by John Barnes Chance is a prolific wind ensemble piece known across the literature and the repertoire. As just a fantastic aspect of it. The piece opens with, as I said, an incantation. It's a slow and mysterious section built on a modal melody that evokes the chanting of ancient spells. So we're right back into that haunting, eerie feeling there. The haunting atmosphere is enhanced by the layers of timbres and shifting harmonies, creating a dreamlike state that continues and slowly intensifies. It then transitions seamlessly into a dance, which is thrilling. Begins with a whisper in the percussion and gradually erupts into a full ensemble celebration of rhythm and motion. With syncopated figures, sharp accents, vibrant colors, the dance section mimics a frenzied ritual as if the spell has taken hold from the incantation. The piece challenges all sections of the ensembles. Winds must sustain long expressive phrases, brasses have punctuated call and responses, while the percussionists are given complicated, exposed, rhythmically intersecting parts. And the contrast between that meditative calm and that fiery action is what makes this piece so compelling for this. Quick fun fact, John Barnes Chance was only in his 30s when he wrote this piece, but it, as I said before, it has become one of the most enduring pieces in wind literature, certainly for high school, collegiate, community, and professional bands alike. The piece was also composed while he was the composer in residence with the Texas high school bands. And the rhythmic ideas that come across this dance section are heavily influenced by his background in percussion. And this piece is frequently used to teach, if not adjudicate, students on contrasting musical styles and dynamics. So we hope that you enjoy Incantation and Dance. We're going to do one quick tuning once again, and we're going to get right to it. Ken, please. Kind of makes you wonder what was in that spell at the beginning. Right? Our next piece, something I think a bit different from what we just heard there. Funeral March of the Marionette. Originally intended as a whimsical character piece, this short march paints the scene of a puppet's funeral procession. Because that sounds fun and nice, right? Not a sorrowful affair, but a lighthearted, ironic one. The piece opens with a mournful introduction, followed by a march that is jaunty, melodic, and subtly humorous. Its lighthearted treatment of the macabre subject makes it both accessible and clever. Charles Gounod adds a humorous flourish with muted brass, pizzicato string sounds played by woodwind staccatos in this arrangement to suggest these awkward movements of the puppets during this procession. A couple of fun facts here. Though primarily an opera composer, Gounod's lighter works show this flair for storytelling and wit. And I'm going to keep my last fun fact about this piece until the end. We'll see if you can figure out what it might be. Can anyone guess what that fun fact might be? What's that? Yes, exactly, right? You may also know this piece as the Alfred Hitchcock theme. That's what that was there. So Gounod reportedly wrote the piece in response to a lighthearted piano improvisation and refined it into a march at the request of a friend who found the theme delightfully odd. Alfred Hitchcock chose the piece as the theme for his classic TV series because of its playful yet sinister tone, a perfect match for his dry, suspenseful sense of humor. So there you go. All right, moving on. Our next piece is entitled Unquiet Spirits by John Mackey. And yes, we want to just... That wasn't the piece. Unquiet Spirits is a tone poem that explores the concept of spirits that are caught between realms. They're not entirely gone, they're perhaps not entirely at peace, but lingering and restless. It begins with a very ethereal reverse musical pyramid with dissonant harmonies and fragmented lines that suggest an unsettled presence. Throughout the piece, John Mackey introduces sudden bursts of energy and lyricalness, almost mournful melodies at times that capture the emotional complexity of the spirit world. Textual shifts and extended techniques, you'll hear flutter-tonguing, breathy effects, adding all sorts of senses of unease through this. And as the piece develops, layers of sound create an overwhelming intensity, like a chorus of voices from beyond. Moments of stillness are pierced by sharp brass interjections, eerie woodwind calls, leaving the listener in suspense until the finale of the piece, which, while it does have a defined ending, still feels as though it has an unresolved feel, hearkening back to that original idea of those spirits that are caught between realms. Quick fun fact, John Mackey often collaborates with choreographers and visual artists, and his music is noted for the strong emotional narrative and technical brilliance that comes. So I hope you'll hear this in the piece here, Unquiet Spirits. Very pretty, right? But still with that sorrowish kind of feeling in it. I made mention before, as we were starting the second part of our program here, of our fantastic audio and visual support team. I want to just pay some mind to them right now here. Our producer and director for this is Barry Muir. Our audio engineer is John Day. Our streaming director, Nikki McGahey. And our camera operators, Fred Zhao, Shane Lyons, Abby Sexauer, and Knox Southard. Please give them a hand. They keep all of this going. And for all of the folks who are out there on the live stream so that they can hear us as if they're right in the room with us. Thanks, everyone. Before we end tonight's program with our final piece, just a couple of quick reminders for this. Please mark your calendars. We absolutely hope to see you again for two very special upcoming concerts. First, don't miss our Bandemonium concert. That is on Saturday, November 8th at 1 p.m. It is an unbelievably fun time designed specifically for the youngest members of our audience and band and whoever else, and the young at heart also. And then please join us on Saturday, December 13th at 7 p.m. for our beloved Holiday Pops concert. It's filled with the festive and joyous sounds of the December holiday season that you've come to know and love. So please, both of those concerts tickets are on sale right now for them. And absolutely, please don't forget, I mentioned it before, your donations are absolutely always appreciated to the Concord Band. Your generosity really does help us procure exciting new music, supports the use of this wonderful performance space, and allowing us to continue to deliver that high caliber musical experience you've come to love and expect from the Concord Band. So thank you for being part of our musical community, and we hope to see you absolutely for everything that we're doing in the future. Our final piece, entitled Dance of the Witches, is by none other than John Williams. It's adapted from the score to The Witches of Eastwick. If you know that movie from the 1980s, this piece is one of John Williams' most devilishly energetic compositions. It combines swirling melodic fragments, mischievous rhythmic figures, and sudden shifts in mood to portray the chaos and allure of the supernatural and the supernaturally mischievous witches that are part of that movie. The music alternates between sleek elegance, wild abandon, and often luring the listener into false senses of calm before there's another exploding, vibrant passage for that. This arrangement captures the theatrical energy of it, making it a standout moment in any Halloween concert. Fun fact, as I said, you may know, right, John Williams is John Williams, right? Star Wars, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, you got it all, right? And so he was actually quoted as saying, this score earned him one of his numerous Academy Awards, nominations, I should say, and showcases his ability to blend traditional orchestrations with that mischievous charm, especially notable in this dance. He reportedly had an absolutely fun time doing this, saying it allowed him to explore the humorous side of the supernatural and experiment with some less conventional textures that he'd been doing up until that point. So we hope you enjoy our closing piece here, The Dance of the Witches. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all once again for joining us for Macabre Music. We hope tonight's concert awakened your imagination, stirred those senses, and perhaps sent a little shiver down your spine. As the nights grow darker, may the echoes of haunted harmonies, ghostly rhythms linger, a perfect soundtrack for the season. We'd love to see you back for our holiday concerts, and remember that Pandemonium concert. Have a great evening, get home safe, and thanks so much for coming out.